Today we're diving into some of the most unbelievable history facts you never knew. Get ready to be amazed and have your mind blown by these incredible stories from our past. Let's jump right in. The Great Emu War. Did you know that Australia once declared war on emus? Yes, you heard that right. In 1932, Australian farmers faced an emu invasion that was destroying their crops. The government decided to take action by sending soldiers armed with machine guns to combat these large birds. Despite their best efforts, the emus proved to be too agile, and the Great Emu War ended in defeat for the humans. The emus won the war, and it's a quirky chapter in Australian history. Cleopatra and the Caesarean. Cleopatra is one of the most famous figures in ancient history. But did you know she had a son with Julius Caesar? His name was Ptolemy XV Philopator Philometor Caesar, commonly known as Caesarion. After Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra declared Caesarion as her co-ruler. Sadly, his reign was short-lived, and he was eventually executed by Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, who later became Emperor Augustus. This little-known fact adds a fascinating twist to the story of Cleopatra. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In 1518, the city of Strasbourg, France, was struck by a bizarre epidemic known as the Dancing Plague. It began when a woman named Frau Trophea started dancing uncontrollably in the streets. Soon, dozens of people joined her, dancing for days on end without rest. Some even danced themselves to death. Historians still debate the cause of this strange event, but it remains one of the most peculiar outbreaks in history. The CIA's Acoustic Kitty. In the 1960s, the CIA embarked on a top-secret mission known as Acoustic Kitty. The goal? To use cats as covert listening devices. They surgically implanted microphones and transmitters into cats, hoping they could eavesdrop on Soviet conversations. Unfortunately, the first mission ended in disaster when the cat was hit by a taxi. The project was ultimately deemed a failure, but it's a testament to the lengths intelligence agencies will go to during the Cold War. The Year Without a Summer. In 1816, the world experienced a year without a summer, caused by the massive eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia. The volcanic ash and sulfur dioxide released into the atmosphere caused global temperatures to drop, leading to widespread crop failures and food shortages. This event had a significant impact on the world, inspiring literary works such as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Lord Byron's Darkness. It was a year of unprecedented weather anomalies and hardship. Operation Paul Bunyan. In 1976, a seemingly trivial incident in the Korean demilitarized zone escalated into a major military operation. After North Korean soldiers killed 2 American officers who were trimming a poplar tree, the U.S. launched Operation Paul Bunyan. This show of force involved a massive display of military might, including troops, helicopters, and bombers, all to cut down the offending tree. The operation succeeded without further violence, but it demonstrated the tense nature of the Cold War-era Korean conflict. The London Beer Flood. On October 17, 1814, a massive vat of beer at the Mew & Company Brewery in London burst, releasing over 323,000 gallons of beer into the streets. The London Beer Flood caused widespread destruction and tragically claimed the lives of 8 people. The incident was later ruled an act of God, and it remains one of the most unusual industrial accidents in history. The Phantom Time Hypothesis. Proposed by German historian Heribert Illig, this theory suggests that a period of about 297 years, from AD 614 to 911, was fabricated, and the early Middle Ages never actually happened. According to Illig, the Gregorian calendar was manipulated to place the current year closer to the year 1000. While this theory is widely discredited by historians, it raises fascinating questions about the accuracy of our historical timeline. The Night Witches. During World War II, the Soviet Union had an all-female night bomber regiment known as the Night Witches. These brave women flew old, noisy biplanes and carried out daring nighttime bombing raids on German positions. Their planes were so slow that they could easily be shot down, but the Night Witches used their limitations to their advantage, cutting their engines to silently glide over enemy targets before dropping their bombs. Their incredible bravery and ingenuity earned them fear and respect from their enemies. The CIA's LSD experiments. In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA conducted a series of controversial experiments under the codename MK-Ultra. These experiments aimed to explore the potential uses of LSD and other mind-altering substances for mind control and interrogation purposes. Unwitting subjects, including government employees and civilians, were given LSD without their consent. The program was eventually exposed and shut down, but it left a lasting legacy of mistrust and ethical concerns regarding government experimentation. The Great Molasses Flood. In January 1919, a storage tank holding over 2 million gallons of molasses burst in Boston's North End, releasing a massive wave of sticky syrup that traveled at 35 miles per hour. The Great Molasses Flood caused significant destruction, killing 21 people and injuring 150 others. The cleanup efforts took weeks, and the event remains a bizarre and tragic episode in Boston's history. The U.S. Camel Corps. In the mid-19th century, the United States experimented with using camels for military purposes in the arid Southwest. Known as the U.S. Camel Corps, this initiative aimed to determine if camels could be more effective than horses in the desert terrain. While the camels proved to be well suited for the environment, the project was ultimately abandoned due to the outbreak of the Civil War and the difficulty of managing the animals. Some of these camels were released into the wild, leading to occasional sightings in the decades that followed. The Great Stink of 1858. In the summer of 1858, London experienced a crisis known as the Great Stink. The hot weather exacerbated the stench of untreated sewage in the River Thames, making life unbearable for the city's residents and prompting Parliament to take action. This event led to the construction of a modern sewer system designed by Joseph Bazalgette, which drastically improved public health and sanitation in London. The Tunguska Event. On June 30th, 1908, a massive explosion rocked the remote Tunguska region of Siberia, flattening an estimated 80 million trees over an area of 830 square miles. The cause of the Tunguska event is believed to have been the airburst of a comet or asteroid, though no impact crater was found. This mysterious explosion remains one of the most powerful natural events in recorded history, and it continues to intrigue scientists and researchers. The Radium Girls. In the early 20th century, female factory workers known as the Radium Girls were employed to paint watch dials with luminous radium paint. Unaware of the dangers, they often ingested the radioactive material while using their lips to shape their brushes. Many of these women suffered severe health issues and even died from radiation poisoning. Their plight led to significant changes in labor laws and industrial safety standards. And there you have it, folks. Some of the most unbelievable history facts you never knew. From wars against birds to mysterious explosions, our past is filled with incredible stories that continue to captivate and amaze us. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating history content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.